What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wnba Dfs here to bring you that WNBA slate breakdown for the four-game WNBA slate. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Um, Honestly, the support and everything that I've gotten on this channel, it means a lot to me, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys that actually follow, pay attention, look at my content, check it out. I really truly do want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are new here, please make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I think we're like 20-ish something subs away from hitting 1K. That'll be a big milestone for me, so please make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you guys have not done so already, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's do a quick recap of yesterday's slate. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. This is the second time I am doing this. The first time I had like a good 30-40 minute video recorded for the slate, and something came up, so I had to scratch that recording. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and go live and just talk through it, answer any questions that anyone might have, and just panel like that. So real quick, first things first, gonna go over a quick review over yesterday's slate. If you guys were on the Patreon, you guys got my core. My core yesterday was Kennedy Carter, it was Aaliyah Edwards, and Angel Reese. And specifically, my core was built like that, along with my footnotes, which if you guys want my core, player pool, the player pools, the prop plays, bet plays, all this stuff, check the link down in the description below so you guys can check that out. It's only $5, and I promise you, you will make that back within your first day, within your first week, especially if you're playing my bet plays. Killing it at an insanely high clip right now on the betting plays. So definitely check that out if you guys have not done so already. But needless to say, yesterday, that core specifically that I put out was because of the fact that we got the Courtney Vandersloot news that she was going to miss. And we didn't have the starting lineup for the New York Liberty just yet. And specifically, it was in the event that they didn't start Thornton, or if they started Burke. And I put my footnotes in there to let you guys know exactly what I was thinking about, what I was doing. But if you ran the Aaliyah Edwards, who smashed, blew it out of the water, loved her matchup, loved the everything for her going into it yesterday, and she was pretty much a staple for me. And then I ran it back with Angel Reese, playing at home in front of family. She had on the shoes and everything, custom made, all that stuff, everything lined up for Aaliyah, not Aaliyah, for Reese to have a good game. And then I originally wanted to get up to MM, could not get up to MM. So instead, I took the value, came down to Carter, who I talked about quite a bit in regards to it, and it worked out. It was a really great core. Ran it back with Brianna Stewart from the other game, and ended up going with Thornton, who was just pretty much a plug and play once I knew that she was fully starting, and then filled it out with ran it back with Gray on the other side from the Atlanta side, and it worked out. Really great lineup. A good day. I finished second in the $1 contest because I could not get into the big $15 or anything else because I fell asleep yesterday. If you guys watched the video, I was tired. So I missed getting into anything. I just, once I recorded it, I uploaded, I went to bed. I was tired. So nonetheless, was not a bad day. But again, the balance build wins altogether. Just straight up, just going balance. Balance has been winning. Balance has been what's doing it. And on such a huge slate, I'm interested to see if balance will do it again today, or do we have to find that crazy cheap value? Because just looking at it, those players that are below 5K and even the ones below 4K, they really have not been doing enough to make it for us, unless someone magically gets, not even magically, someone gets injured or just something drastically happens. That is how we are getting some of those plays where it's like they are just popping off. What's good? What's going on, Ace? But real quick, we're going to go over the injury report for today. Let me make sure I refresh this, that we got the freshest injury report that we got up for the day. Boom. I like it because, yeah, as you can see early when I recorded this, Boston and Clark were both game time decisions. But starting out, we got the Fever taking on Washington. We got one game starting at 7:30, and then the other three games are at 10. Really kind of sucks. I wish it was a little bit more spread out. But, of course, Caitlin Clark, she got to get that primetime matchup. She has to be the focal point, and everyone has to watch that Caitlin's going to be on TV. So that is what we're going to get right here. But Caitlin Clark and the Indian Fever taking on Washington. They got nicked up, Clark and Boston, but looks like they're going to be good to go. So that's good. Nothing to worry about over here. Fag mainly, she's still going to be out. Then over on the Washington side, they have Austin as a game time decision. I fully expect Austin to play. She's been held out up front end of back-to-backs and things like that. I don't see any reason why she shouldn't play. But if Austin is going to be out, then of course we will get again Aaliyah Edwards starting. Aaliyah played the most minutes that she's played so far in her WNBA career, playing 36 minutes last night in a smash, beautiful, wonderful game. And again, the matchup for her today is just as good as it was yesterday. So definitely we'll pay attention. Luckily, we will get the news if Austin's going to be in or out before that game actually starts. Going over to Dallas, taking on the Sparks. My Dallas, same old, same starters. Nothing new over there with the injured players being out. Same thing for the Sparks. They got Lexi Brown. They got Clarendon back last game. And Azara Stevens is the only one that's on the injury report for them. Over here for the Minnesota Lynx, taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Lynx, same old. Don Miller's out. For the Phoenix Mercury, we got word Brittany Griner might be back. Toe, questionable. So definitely something to pay attention to. If BG's back, that's going to change up the starting lineup. Definitely something I want to pay attention to because I want to know if BG will be back. That'll be pretty big. Maybe might anchor their defense. Definitely, of course, we'll see Matt come off the bench. Maybe Matt can slide in, play some of that 4 role for them. And then we don't have to see like this deep guard rotation that they've been running out here for the Mercs. So definitely good to get some size back over there for the Phoenix Mercury. And then Seattle taking on the Las Vegas Aces. This right here, I think is going to be the game of the night. But of course, again, biggest thing for that is that we have Chelsea Gray as a possible game time decision. Looks like she is still working her way back. She may or may not be back and ready and good to go to play. But that's pretty much the injury report. Going to go ahead and head over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on. If you guys don't got an account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. Real quick, I am going to head over to my channel on my phone real quick and share this on the Twitter and X and whatnot. So if anyone wants to go ahead, hop in and join, they can go ahead and get the breakdown, ask any questions that they want. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this party started. Oh dang, looks like there's been a lot of weigh-ins missed at UFC Louisville. Dang, that sucks. Anyway, first game, we got Clark and the Indiana Fever taking on Washington Mystics. Of course, like I said, real quick, let me refresh it, make sure we got the freshest stuff up here for this one. All right, boom. Yeah, get rid of those questionable tags. I really don't like that. All right, so first game, Clark taking on the Indiana Fevers. So with that being said, the fact that we have not seen the Fever play since the second. They've had plenty of time, plenty of days off, a good chunk of rest. So I'm hoping that this offense will look a bit different. Hopefully they went back, they looked at the Golden State Warriors and that run and everything that the Warriors do with Curry, Clay, setting some screens, things like that. Maybe we can see a little bit of that here today. I'm hoping, possibly. But nonetheless, I think that Clark coming off of some rest, getting some time to digest some film, get a practice or two underneath her belt with the team, because the whole time in that big stretch of games they were playing, there was no rest. They were not able to practice. It was a lot of just games, just watching film, no running through sets or anything at all whatsoever. None of that was going on for them. What's good? What's up, Easy? Hey, Easy, if you want to join me, you should still have the link. You could definitely hop up here and join me if we're breaking down the slate if you want to. But I think that today, 11K, Clark, primary ball handler. We know the ball will be in her hands. Maybe she might play a little bit off ball, but I'm interested to see what she brings in that 11K price tag. I really don't mind actually paying for that. She's the highest price guard on the slate. I'm not too sure how many people outside of the casual fans will actually click on Clark and play her. Maybe she might be higher owned because she's been higher owned in a lot of slates than what I've expected for her to be. But going up against Washington Mystics, we just saw them get throttled last night. Kennedy Carter came off the bench, played really well. Clark, she brings that change of pace. She definitely played much faster, and she's definitely a way better shooter than Dana Evans. A little bit better playmaker, I'll give her, than what we've seen go out there and do and things like that. But that 11K price tag, I'm not too sure how many people actually click on it when you have Jewel Lloyd right there. You got Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Enrique. We're all right there lower than Clark. And it's like, this rookie is really going to be 11K. I really do not mind that as a decent GPP option. If I'm running two lines, I wouldn't mind running one play with Caitlin Clark as her being a main play and a main staple to anchor my line. Now, outside of that, I will say that this matchup for Melissa Smith is the exact same like it was for Reese last night. Even if Austin is back, still Washington against opposing bigs who rebound very well, who play down there below the basket, get decent putbacks. And Smith, let's not get it twisted. She can stretch the floor. She can shoot some threes. She can get out there. And if she actually decides she wants to bring it on the defensive side, she definitely can do that as well out here. Since Fag Millie's gone down, she's had nothing less than 30 fantasy points in any of these games in 3 straight, playing 30 minutes at least in each one of those games. We know she got benched for her defense, but going up against the Washington team, who is still 0 and 8, 9 or something like that now, it's a good matchup, good spot for her. I don't hate it, don't mind it at all, even if Austin is in. And right now, I'm kind of finding myself trying to build around Nalissa Smith. If I don't play Nalissa, I really do actually think that this is a good spot for Boston, as long as Boston keeps itself out of foul trouble. And again, I do believe the practice, the gel, and everything that they could possibly get with her and Clark could possibly pay dividends finally over the last several days, that we could actually see a decent game from Boston. I will say opposing bigs, period, going up against Washington have actually done really well. If Elizabeth Williams didn't get injured last night, she only played 10 minutes, I do think that she could have had a decent game last night. We saw a mix of Cardosa, and we saw a mix of course, Reese sliding down, playing that center spot right there as well. But they did decent. They did pretty well in that matchup, period, going up against Washington. And I really do actually like the upside for either Boston or Nalissa Smith. Everyone else over here, Kelsey Mitchell, she's way too score independent for me, 7-1. If I land there, she definitely would be something I would put into a mid-tier build if I'm building out just a decent balanced lineup and a good mid-tier option at 7-1. Of course, again, the practice time being off, she might draw the Atkins defensive assignment, but I would imagine Atkins might try to float and try to guard Clark. Either way, it's a good spot for her. 7,100. Don't hate that at all. It's really good actual price tag for her. Now, everyone else over here, Wallace, Wheeler, Samuelson, all these guys, these are last second place. If I land there and there's nothing else around them that actually fits or feels really good, and I feel like I have to get another piece from this game, I can see myself going to a Wallace. I can see myself going to a Wheeler, or I can go with Samuelson. But all of them, very deep GPP options. Nothing that sticks out that is a must that I feel like you have to have on the slate. So right now over here on the Fever side, I will say it is going to be their main 3 players. It's going to be Clark, it's going to be Boston, it's going to be Nalissa Smith. Will be the main ones that I want to get to and build around. And then a sprinkle of Mitchell if I can't get up to Clark, if I really do feel like Clark is in a good spot. Still, Kate Mitch, she's right there. She ball handles. She can do some things as well. She's right there. Don't mind getting that at all. But I will say one of the 2 bigs I do believe will be a staple on today's slate, Nalissa or Boston, one of those 2 right there. And just like Easy just said, Indiana, they are very frustrating. Every time you play Smith, she does get benched randomly, but you got to look at it again, and I'll go right back to it real quick. They don't have any bigs. Samuelson's out. Dantas, she's still out as well. Carly, she can come in there. She can play a stretch 4's position spot right there. Play some spot minutes for Nalissa if need be, and if they want to, if her shot is falling and she's hot. But other than that, they have to play Boston at least close to 30 minutes long. She doesn't get herself into foul trouble. And then if Boston gets in foul trouble, who are they playing at the center spot? They're playing Smith. Smith is playing that center position and she's playing that role. They're not giving Saxton any minutes, so they're limited on what they can actually do at the big position. And this is one of those spots where it's kind of just a no-brainer. You're going to want to get one of those 2 bigs right there, especially after what we've seen going up against Washington and how we can actually attack them with opposing forwards and with opposing centers. It's just kind of it's one of those positions where it's not an overthink at all whatsoever. Coming down over here to the Washington side, looking at them, I will say Atkins completely let me down yesterday. I was very high on her. I was looking at her for a lot of things. Luckily, I didn't end up on her. Instead, I went with Gray, who was right there, priced around the same, and it panned out very well for me. But I'll say, again, the focal point, the shots, she's taking double-digit shots, but she's just not really hitting too much. She's there. She got into a little bit of foul trouble last night, 18 fantasy points. This could be a spot where maybe she can come out here and have a decent game going up against, even though, let's not get it twisted, I know Washington is bad, but the Fever are still the worst defense in the league. They are still the worst. Still. That's not going to change. I will have to see everything else and how it shakes out. Any lineups I can put in today on FanDuel to get a top scoring spot. Honestly, to tell you the truth, everything that I say over here on DraftKings, you can use it over there on FanDuel. You 10,000% can. You just got to look at the pricing and see who actually pans out. So if over on FanDuel, which unfortunately I am locked out of my FanDuel account again, I have just given up. I really don't like playing on FanDuel because the price pool, they're just not worth it. But I will say that, like what I just said over here for Indy, if Boston is cheaper than Smith over there on FanDuel, you will go with Boston over Smith. Over here on DraftKings, if Smith was cheaper than Boston, then I'm going with Smith over Boston. It just all depends on who shakes out as the decent value play and things like that. You look at the positions the same. You look at it the same, you figure it out the same. Only thing just to know is that, of course, you get the 3 points for the steals and blocks and things like that over there versus what you're going to get over here on DraftKings. Aaliyah Edwards for MVP. Aaliyah Edwards freaking balled last night. I'm about to hit on that. Not sure she's a game time decision. All right. And yeah, FanDuel does need to fix their pricing. That's another reason I really do hate it. Their pricing is so skewed. It's up and down. The studs get priced way too high up. And most of the time over there on FanDuel, you kind of have to build the stars and scrubs just to be decent over there on FanDuel. But real quick, going over to Washington, looking at this side, besides Austin, besides Atkins, Austin, we do need to get the news in regards to if Austin will play. If Austin is ruled in, I will have consideration for her just because her usage is so high when she's out there on the court. And a nice little fun note is that whoever Nalissa Smith guards and whoever Nalissa Smith is matched up against, they've eclipsed over 25 fantasy points pretty much every single game. Every single game. So Austin, I know she's on a minutes limit. She might not play no more than 25 minutes, even if she actually is in for today. That's the only thing that really does suck about Austin, but the matchup is there. She literally has the exact same it's so frustrating because she could really pop in the spot. Now, if Austin is out, I don't mind going right back to Aaliyah Edwards. Maybe she might play more mid 20 minutes, but still really good fantasy point per minute producer when she's out there, sitting out at 6'5". They dropped her down from 6'8" from yesterday, coming off a career high in everything that she did yesterday. Maybe she can keep the good juice rolling and go right over into today's matchup and smash. Snag those rebounds, rebounding forwards going up against Indy. They've done very well. And she plays right there underneath the basket. She can get the blocks. We saw that last night, 4 blocks last night. Beautiful, amazing game. I don't mind going down to her if and only if Austin is out. Yes, she's still going to get run, but I will say she's not going to be a must or something I have to get to. Other than that, we are going to get the Samuelson sisters going up against each other. Maybe you can go down here and mess with Carly. Carly, she might go here and have a good game. She shot 1 of 6 yesterday, 1 of 4 from 3. A decent mid option, not something that's like, yes, I got to get to that. I really don't see the upside for it right there. I will say Misha Hines-Allen off the bench. She has been playing pretty decent, very well. 12 minutes last night, only 8 fantasy points, but still she could have been more, definitely could have played more minutes. 4 personal fouls, was kind of just sloppy out there when she was playing on the day, but definitely something that I wouldn't mind going to. And then Van Loo, 7K. I really don't see myself getting there. If I'm looking at Van Loo, I might as well just go up 100 and go ahead and get up to Kate Mitch, who has definitely my personal has a safer floor in my eyes because she's at least going to get you about 20 to 22 fantasy points on a slate, pretty much. Everyone else over here, Melbourne, you can mess with that as a punt play if you really feel like you need to go down here for the punts. DD, not really going to go there at all either. Other than that, then Dolson, I don't click Dolson. 5,700. I'll say if you land there, then you land there. But if you can find something else to go to, I would rather find something else to actually go to right there. Other than that, if you guys got anything for this first game, go ahead, drop it in the chat. I will answer that real quick. Answering this question from AJ. Where's the best place to find news, lineups, minutes, etc.? So the best place for you to be able to find news, go onto X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and go to Underdog WNBA. They do a very good job in regards to actually putting out the information for who's injured, who's out, who's in. They actually, of course, tweet the beat writers and stuff like that and get that information put out. But if you want to try to follow each team, specifically look for the beat writers that the teams might retweet, things like that, you can actually go ahead and do that. That's a decent way for you to actually get updates in regards to who's in, who's out, things like that. And then as far as starting lineups, I'll try to retweet them whenever I actually see them pop up on my feed and get those out there to you guys as well. But you go up on X, and then if you want to, just like what I do, I go over here to RotoWire. This is the site that I use, and whenever they get confirmation of the starting lineups, it will be uploaded and updated on here, and we'll get them. Right now, these are the projected starting lineups, and this is what the teams have normally been running out here for starting lineups. So that gives you a general idea. Normally, of course, if you know WNBA, everyone plays 40. Oh, the games are normally 40 minutes long. Starters, typically, they'll play mid 32 to 35 minutes, depending on what team they're on. Unless you're someone that's on the Dallas Wings, who typically play their starters for about 35 to 38 minutes out there, depending on foul trouble, things like that. The Fever, they've been running Clark and Boston as much as they can out there. Clark's been playing pretty high minutes as well. So you just look at the game logs and just see the minutes in regards to how these players have been playing and things like that. And then last but not least, just check out the WNBA website. You can look on there right there and look at all the stats and see everything right there as well to get a glimpse and an idea of those things over there. All right, heading over to my Dallas Wings, taking on the Sparks. Of course, you already know a easy bet play for me today is going to be Dallas. I will take their spread. as a play, and of course Dallas money line. Either one of those can be decent right there to me. I know that the first game that they played, it was pretty close, 84-83. They're not doing that again, especially coming off that loss against the Aces, which we made a little bit of a game. We winning this one. We're winning this one. I'm not even worried about it. But anyways, going over here, Arike again, priced at 10.5. She is 5. Don't know what my computer just did. Hold on 1 second. We are having some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second to fix this. Sorry about that, guys. I kicked the power cord for my second monitor, so it glitched everything over onto my main screen that I'm sitting here looking at. But anyway, going back to it, the Dallas Wings on their side, we already know that Dallas, they're going to play their starters pretty heavy minutes. They're going to be out there for a good chunk of this game. Commissioner's Cup. We're seeing Arike. She's playing practically almost the whole game. Played 37 minutes in that last game going up against the Aces. She was a big reason why that game was even a game. She was out there. She was killing it. Got really hot, got really going. 31 points in that last game. And the last time they played against the Sparks, she took 30 shots in that game. 30. That is honestly a lot for Arike out here. The upside for her, really do actually like it. If I'm not going to go up and pay up for Clark, if I'm not going to pay up for Jewel Lord or something like that on today's slate, I will have to have some interest in what Arike can bring to the table. And I do actually like the upside for her here on today. Now, I will say, if you look at Big T, Tara McCowan, in that game going up against the Sparks, she only played 22 minutes. Pay attention. That was on the back end of a back-to-back. They played the game prior. She played 27 minutes in that game going up against the Phoenix Mercury, but she still put up a fantasy point per minute in this game. Now, I'll say I'm not scared of Brink. Brink's going to be able to go out there, get a couple of blocks, things like that going up against Big T. That'll probably be about it. But Big T should still be able to go out here and have her way. This is a really great matchup for her. If we get motivated Big T like what she was going up against the Aces, played 30 minutes. That girl was out there doing it all. 14 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. That's the typical Big T game that I like. And she's still priced at 8.8. Good price tag for her. I really do not mind coming down here for her as a mid-tier option. Now, I will say I do have a slight tick of bit more interest in Billings, just because I do think this is a bounce back spot and a better matchup for her here. You're going to get Wnba defense. I'm not scared of Wnba. We know that Billings, she likes to push the pace. The Sparks, they can be a bit sloppy when it comes down to everything for them, things like that. So I really do actually like the upside for Billings here. She's 200 less. If you are playing 2 lineups, kind of like the same thing like we always talk about whenever it comes down to the New York Liberty with Jonquel Jones and Brianna Stewart, I might run one with Big T, run the other one with Billings, but I really do I like both bigs here in this spot. I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging into numbers, and I will give some clarity on that whenever I do actually post my core up on site and be able to get you a little bit more information on that. What's up, Robert? I'm glad that you were able to catch the chat, drop some questions or anything you got from me down in the chat, and I'll be able to answer those for you, bud. But going out here, besides Billings, I will say Maddie at 7.5, she will be a mid-tier option. I don't mind going to at all. Going up against the Sparks last time, 34 minutes. And I got to just tip my hat to Maddie. She is playing great with the minutes and the upside that she's been given here since Howard went down with no Satu. I am really was one of the biggest Maddie believers last year, and I think that the upside is there for her, period. And she's showing it. She's doing it. I'm really proud of what I'm actually getting to see. At 7.5, as long as that shot's falling, she's able to go in there. She's really good at getting some of those offensive boards and things like that as well. I see that again here in this spot, going up against either way. I believe whoever they actually try to put on her at the small forward position is going to be undersized. No matter who she actually gets matched up with, if it's Nurse, if they try to put Lexi, if it's Clarendon, any of those guys, they'll be undersized going up against Maddie. Not gonna say she's gonna big body her way in there, playing wise. She's still more of an outside shooter. She definitely has a good touch in the mid range as well now, and floater looking really nice from her. But 7'5", if you go there, you're trying to do the balance build like what I've talked about countless times, time and time again. Maddie definitely will be one that I can see myself getting down to and going to on today's slate. Last but not least, I know Uzan, she looked horrible in that game. Shot 1 of 8, could not get a shot to fall. The threes were just airballing, airmailing all over the place, but she was doing everything else, playing some pretty good defense and trying to get everyone else involved. 14 fantasy points in that game, but going up against the Sparks the first time in 35 minutes, she dropped 32.25 fantasy points. I have to say the upside will still just be there for her. It's the exact same matchup again. Sure, Clarendon is going to be back. I'm not worried about that at all. If you feel like you can't get up to Enrique and you want to take a chance at technically the actual point guard, which is Uzan, if you just watch it, Uzan brings the ball up. They might run a pick and roll, something like that with Big T, or do a dribble handoff, things like that. But Uzan should bring the ball up. She'll look for Enrique, see where Reek's going. Reek might get a screen set for her, try to get loose. She'll pass it off to Reek. Reek will either dribble, drive, shoot. One of those two things are going to happen. So assist upside is definitely there for Uzan. And just if the shot can fall, if the shot falls, Uzan can have a good game. Everyone else out here, Kalani Brown, unless you think Big T gets in foul trouble, Source, I'm not touching that. She's not going to get minutes unless something drastically happens and they want to shake up the starting lineup. And then Sheldon, she'll get like 5-10 minutes. That'll be about it. Going over to the Park side, I'll say Wnba. I think this matchup is definitely going to be better for her than what she did going up against the Minnesota Lynx. I did not expect the Lynx to legit be all up in her shit like they were. But Fee was all up in her shit. Alana, all up in her shit. No one was letting Wnba be able to just shake loose and do anything at all whatsoever. They were guarding her up at the three-point line whenever she was trying to get the ball, try to go in. She couldn't get nothing going. It was putrid, but she still was able to have a decent game. 36.75 fantasy points, not bad. Technically did not pay off the salary, but she got a price bump. So that tells you that this matchup actually is a pretty good matchup for her here coming in this today. The usage is still there, even with all the players that they have back. I do believe that Wnba at 10-7, I do actually have her in my player pool as a player I have interest and circled as a one I could possibly see myself going to and getting to on today's slate. Now, I'll say also as well in this matchup, last time when they played, 38 minutes, she dropped 41.25 fantasy points, 13 rebounds, 19 points. She finds a way to somehow get a double-double almost every game. I want to say she's only missed once or twice so far this season. Brink, very deep GPP for me, just for the fact of the foul trouble that she can get herself into. I will say 24 minutes and dropped 34.5 fantasy points against my Dallas Wings. I am very impressed. 21 points in that game. I'm pretty sure that was her season high right there. Very impressed. She shot 3 of 6 from 3. If she could do that again, I understand going up against Big T. Big T is not really trying to stretch and go all the way out there to guard you. But if Brinks can have that touch like what she did in that first game, I could see myself maybe getting to some sprinkles of Brink. I really don't think anyone's going to want to click on that name and go to her on today's slate. For what? Why when it's a 4-game slate? No one's going to. She's definitely a GPP option. The upside is there for her, but I will say at 8-4, I'd rather just go ahead and find my way up to Billings, Tierra McCowan, Melissa Smith, Aaliyah Boston. That group of players I feel is more safer than what Brinks will have. Brinks will have the lower ownership and can definitely win you a GPP because no one's really going to look to click on that name. But it's touch and go. Everyone else over here, Clarendon, Nurse, Jackson, McDonald, Lexi Brown, that's like pulling names from a hat and figuring out who is going to actually have the better game. Nurse pretty much got benched last game, really didn't do anything out there. 18 minutes, put up nothing. Going up against Dallas, 17 minutes, again, nothing. Dud. Maybe she can come back in here in this game and have a better shooting night, but that's a big if. Clarendon, she looks like she's going to be splitting minutes with Lexi Brown, with Ari McDonald. They're still trying to get her burn and run. You can definitely go here. She got injured in this game. That's why she only played 7 minutes. That was when she popped her head and was out for all those that string of games. So you can definitely see some interest in going with Clarendon at the 7K price tag, more of a mid-tier option. No one really should want to be clicking on that name. The upside, it could be there for her, but if she's going to be capped around like 19-20 minutes, that's almost the same thing as Courtney Williams. I'm not really going to go there and mess with that too much on the slate. Rickea Jackson, with everyone being back, it looks like she's kind of going back to fifth, sixth fiddle. The minutes, drastic drop, just to go straight down to 14. I understand she didn't shoot too well, but the shot, it's there. She can eventually get it. She played 24 minutes against Dallas, only has 7.25 fantasy points. It's pretty much the same matchup. Maybe she could do better here in this spot, but I'm not too interested at 6-1. I'd rather just maybe take a chance, hope that Ari can come in and get hot if I need to get something from over here. But tell you the truth, The Sparks, outside of Hamby and Brink, I don't have any interest in anyone else over here on the Spark at all. How do you like these player prop? Melissa Smith, more than 14 points. Maddie for more than 13 points. Not gonna lie, nice to hear you just talk positive. Hey, dude, I am a big Dallas Wings fan. Last year when we drafted Maddie, we got Maddie. I was very high on her. We was hoping that she was able to get more minutes, but then Satu, the jump that she made, really kind of, you didn't need Maddie to do what Maddie could come in there and do. And now we are getting to actually see Maddie, and you see the work that she put in the offseason, be able to step it up more on the defensive side. It's really great to actually see it. And the shot, she is actually a really good shooter. She's a bucket. She truly is. So I really do actually like that. Love the upside from her and everything that she actually brings. Now, as far as answer your question, I will take Melissa Smith for her 14 points before I take Maddie for it, because Melissa, she has the better matchup when it comes down to it. Maddie, when you look at the usage rate over there for the Dallas Wings, Maddie is down there at, I want to say, the either fourth highest usage on that team. So if Maddie actually can get some putbacks, or Maddie can get off a couple of threes, maybe she can actually get there, but it's more risky. And I would feel more safer with taking Melissa Smith over 14 points. That should be a easy day. Melissa, since she's been put back into the starting lineup out there, I want to say she hasn't had less than 17. Yeah, she hasn't had less than 17 points. That 14 points is too low for what Melissa can have. And if they actually have her PR at something like 23, 24, I'll take the over on that as well for Melissa Smith as a possible play. When you say play of the day, Jonathan, are you asking me play of the day for like props, or play of the day in regards to DFS? Because right now I'm covering DFS. Haven't gone over the price picks and really looked at the board to be able to give you some props. But as I'm going through, I will say Rike, her rebounds and assists, I don't mind actually taking that, as long as it's sitting around 10 or so. Because that's really kind of what she's averaging going out here. She is able to get some assists, and ball handlers going up against the Sparks. The Sparks, they are giving up the most assists per game currently right now to dominant ball handlers. Arike, Uzan, both of them, they're able to at least get 5 to 6 assists in this game. So Arike, those assists or her rebound assists, as long as it's sitting hovering around 10, I would take the over on that if you are looking for a decent prop right there. Over here, I got to know about Austin, if she's going to be playing, if we want to talk props right there. Tell you what, after I finish the breakdown, I'll go over the price picks and we can pick and choose and go through over there. I know today is Flex Friday over on price picks too, so we'll touch on some props. Hold that thought right there for me, Jonathan. Going over to the Minnesota Lynx taking on the Phoenix Mercury. I'll tell you right now, not too much sticks out over here except for Fee. Who's going to guard Fee? Even if Cunningham, even if BG's back, who's going to guard Fee? Cunningham has been getting cooked with opposing power forwards. Whoever has gone up against her, they have dominated in this spot, like literally. I know last game she only played 26 minutes going up against the Phoenix Mercury and dropped 36.75 fantasy points. That's over a fantasy point per minute for her coming out here. The usage is sky high. She has it. She's going to get the first couple touches in the game. As long as that shot's falling, easy day. She's rebounding very well. She brings it on the defensive side. Honestly, MVP Fee. We should get a shirt made that says that, MVP Fee. Beautiful. Love it. No, MVP. MVP. There we go. Yep. Mitri, put that in the blender. MVP. My brother, who's a designer, he's staying with me right now, and I might actually really get that made, MVP, and get a picture of Fee shooting her one of her iconic shots. So but Fee 11-1, love it. Love the price tag for her. Don't hate that at all. What's going to come down to it for me currently, what I'm looking at is I have to decide, am I going to pay up for Asia or am I going to pay Fee? That's where I'm at currently right now. I got some routes that I can go with over on the Las Vegas Aces side, but right now I will say Fee, the upside, it's there. The matchup, it's there. If this game can actually stay close, if BG comes in and she can help a 10-point difference and keep the game closer than what it was the first time that they met, and she only had played 26 minutes, Fee can go ahead and blow this out the water and at least give us what she's averaging, which is over 40 fantasy point a game. So don't mind that at all for Fee. Other than that, I'm going to touch on it right here. Kelly McBride, Courtney Williams. I will take Courtney Williams. Not Courtney Williams. I'll take Kelly McBride over Courtney Williams. It's looking like Courtney, she's getting the aerial powers treatment. She does one wrong thing, she messes up a coverage, or she just flops a pass, they're pulling her. I know she's a good player. She's a good vet. She can definitely go out there and she can kill it. She can have a great game. I'll say a prop that I am on that I will consider and more than likely will make it into my Flex Friday slip, as long as they haven't bumped it up for her. I'll take Courtney Williams over 14.5, 14, or 15 first half fantasy points. Her usage in the first half is much higher than what it is in the second. Her minutes seem to be more guaranteed in the first half of the game. Oh, they have her sitting at 13.5. I am smashing the over on that. I will take the over on that all day. She had 22.1 in this matchup the first time against the Phoenix Mercury. You are telling me that you're going to give me her at 13.5? Taking the over on that all day. I just pulled up price on my other screen. I'm taking that. That right there is too easy. Too damn easy. Oh my God. All right. But yeah, Courtney Williams, she's not really seeing the minutes in the second half. She's right now been more of a first half player. The steal upside is there for her going up in this matchup against the Phoenix Mercury. The points, I know she can go out there, she can score, she can do very well, as she can play make a little bit, but it's just they're not really giving her the run, they're not giving her the respect in the second half of the game. So I'm not really going to even go there for Courtney Williams. I will say Kayla McBride, she's out there, she can play defense and she can also score. First matchup, she played 22 minutes against him and only gave us 16.25. Again, the game was a blowout, so starters did not have to play any significant minutes. So Kelly McBride, don't mind going there at all. Everyone else down here, Alana, if BG's back, I'm not touching Alana. I am not touching Alana if BG's back. Even if Mac is still out there, Alana's more of a very GPP. If I somehow get there, I would rather go up and just play Brink. If I'm looking at Alana and Brink, I'd rather just go up to Brink for anything else right there. Carlton, Dorka, they're just there. If you land there, you know they're not going to get you 0. I would take Dorka over Carlton any day. And then Zandalis, she seems to be in the coach's favor. The coaching staff. She was averaging almost 20 minutes for the last 3 games. Only had to play 14 in this last game, again, against the Sparks. The game was a blowout. Didn't need her out there. But she still, in 14 minutes, gave us 17.5 fantasy points. 17.5 fantasy points in 14 minutes. She's doing very well out there. Like the upside for her. Don't mind her at 4.9. She would be probably one of the lower price players I would take on today's slate would be what I would take. The reason why the drop in Seawill's minutes, if you watch what she's doing or watch how she's playing, I'm telling you right now, she makes a mistake, they're pulling her. They are literally, this is the same coach last year that didn't want to play Aerial Powers, because when Aerial Powers go out there and she messed up, she did something stupid, they pulled her as well. It's the exact same thing going on right now with Courtney Williams. I don't know what it is. She would rather play Natasha Heidemann, non-shooting having ass out there, over Courtney Williams. She would rather let Heidemann go out here, who the Suns didn't want her anymore because she couldn't do shit. But yeah, she's going out there and she's getting more burn around. But the other factor right now is that also Olivia, she's actually playing pretty decent whenever they're giving her some run, and it looks like she's very high on the coaching staff's favorite list. They're wanting to see her, they wanted to develop her, and she had my interest in the first game. Now she's got my attention. 10 minutes, 11 fantasy points. The only thing that worries me, she doesn't really shoot. She's not really looking for a shot. In a blowout, I would have imagined you should at least been able to get 5 shots up. But it looks like her game is more predicated on defense and playmaking. So at 3.5, if you're trying to go a stars and scrub, or you're trying to fit in like the Clark, the Asia, the Hamby, the Fee type thing, I would come down and I would just slide in Olivia. She'll at least maybe get you about, I'll give her between 8 to 12 fantasy points would be what I'll give her on today's slate. But other than that, Peely, unless this game completely blows out, do not put Peely in your line. Please, for the love of God, do not do that. But going over to the Phoenix Mercury side, biggest thing, we have to know if BG is going to actually be back, if she's going to play. If BG's back and play, then that's going to mess with Mac's minutes. Mac was already playing mid 20 minutes anyway, so it shouldn't go too crazy for her. But going up against bench units, maybe might be a little bit better for her. If Griner is back, I wouldn't imagine that she's going to be able to play heavy minutes. I doubt she was able to really condition. It is a toe fracture that she was coming back from, so you already know she's a big woman. Not like she's going to be out there running up and down the court or anything like that, really, for any type of practice. I really hadn't seen anything in regards to her fluid, healthy, moving up and down the floor. So she's certainly close. We'll have a better idea on her status. So, she got through Thursday's practice. She's fluid. She's moving up and down the floor. Granted, that's a practice, so you're not going balls to the wall heavy inside of a practice. So, take it with what you want right there in regards to that. But that's iffy right there. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I got a phone call coming in. Sorry about that. When work calls, you have to answer. Anyway, where was I? How would you rank Big T? How would you rank Big T, Boston, or come down and save with Batty? Between Big T and Boston, if I'm going between the two, I will take Boston. I will take Boston over Big T just because the matchup, opposing forwards, opposing centers going up against Washington, the numbers just speak for themselves. There is huge. And with Big T, I think Big T is they're both have just the foul trouble in them. They really truly do. But I'll say Boston. It's something about that fever game is really got me really high on the fever side today. And I really just feel like it's because they finally were able to practice and have more time to gel and cohese and just all the time off. Everyone else has been playing games and everything. But I really do like the upside for Boston. And I know my bias for Big T is really probably just because I'm pretty much more bullish right now on Billings is what's doing it for me. And so, yeah, I will have to say Big Boston over Big T. Necessarily, you don't have to come down to save to go down to Maddie. But going over here on this side, again, if BG's back, that's not going to really change too much for me over here on this team. Cunningham should still be starting at the 4 unless Allen is back. Let's see, did Allen practice? Allen participated in Thursday's session, so she's upgraded questionable. Is it surprising? She's probably all right. So Allen should actually be back. Even if Allen's back, I still like Fee. Fee should be able to go in here and crush. Maybe with actually Allen back, having Cunningham coming off the bench, you got your firecracker off the bench, you got Matt coming off the bench. This game could possibly stay closer than their first matchup, so the upside could definitely be there for them to actually keep this game close. With DT, Cloud, Copper, I really none of them stuck out to me as potential plays that I feel like I want to get to or go to at all. I mean, DT, she put up 14 points in 22 minutes. That's really not bad for her at all, but she's really predicated on she has to score. She has to actually do something in the scoring column in order for her to have a good game. Cloud, she was actually in regards to decent in peripherals. The game, if the shot's falling, it's definitely there. But at 9.5, I would rather just come up and play Kalia Copper if I have to. And then if I'm not playing Copper, I'd rather just look at the Las Vegas Aces guards who are right there or right around the same price. So Cloud and Copper not really making any run for me right here. I'll say Sutton, she's at least still seeing her minutes. She's seeing 20-ish minutes a game. She's not going to go out there and give us a dud. 4-9, this would be one of your more safer value plays if you feel like you have to somehow punt on today's slate and you want to get you some type of value. All right. We're going down to the game of the night, the game of the day. If you guys have hit the subscribe button, so you get the 1K sub is what I needed right there. Full disclosure, I am playing Alyssa. You think it's optimal to run them together? Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. You're playing Alyssa already, and you're wanting to run them both. If you're already playing Nalissa, then yeah, you can go ahead and just run Big T out there instead. You don't have to run them both. I don't think that you need both of the bigs in this game to be. It's not necessarily not optimal. I have seen it where both bigs, where it was a slate where we had I forgot what slate it was, but both of the bigs for Indy were in the optimal lineup. So you don't have to necessarily run them to be optimal on today's slate, but definitely I don't mind them together. That's not a bad play at all whatsoever. But sorry about that. If the connection just went out, I just seen it popped up on my thing saying I lost connection. Hopefully I am back. Can someone let me know down in the chat if everything is good on the stream real quick before I continue? I really, really hate if things are going out on you guys while I'm trying to give you guys info. All right. Going over to Seattle, taking on Las Vegas Aces. This is to me the game of the night. This right here, it should be a fast. We have two of the top 5 teams that lead the league in pace. Two of the top 5 teams in scoring and going up against each other. Now, granted, they're both decent defensively and whatnot. So it should be a good game, period, from both sides. I am very ecstatic to watch this game. Now, I will say Jewel Lloyd, Ezzy, NECA, SDS, that's going to be your starters going out the rolling out. Looking at it straight up off the gate, this is one of those games where we can see Jewel Lloyd go out here and she could rip a nice fat behind 25 points, 20-30 point game. Definitely in the cards for her to be able to go out there and do that. We just seen Enrique light them up, going out here, hitting some ridiculous behind shots, just doing whatever it was needed to go ahead and get the dub for the team. So not too far of a stretch to see the Gold Mamba be able to go out here and do the exact same thing in this spot. Now, I will say guards that come out here, it's it's weird, but I will say opposing twos going up against the aces, they've done well. Enrique, she dropped 53. Gray, she dropped 36. Kayla McBride dropped 36. So the last couple of guards that actually had some decent usage, they've done well. Skylar Diggins-Smith, if you don't want to pay up for Jewel Lloyd, I can see myself coming out here to Skylar, 9,300. She is ripped off straight up 4 straight 30-point fantasy point games. The shot looks like it has definitely gotten much better. She's at least splashed a 3 in all 4 games. We know that she's going to be able to do it on the playmaking side. Maybe this could be one of her 9 assist type games, just with the pace that will actually be played in this game. Don't necessarily have to worry about a blowout unless the blowout is going to be on the Storm, just not being able to keep this game close. But Skylar at 9-3, the upside is there for her as well. Reading off a couple of the last couple of guards that went up in this spot. Against them, Clark, she played going against them 24 points, 75 fantasy points. Let's see, who else do we have here? Courtney Williams, she dropped 32.50 fantasy points. Diana Taurasi, no, Diana doesn't actually count. Well, yeah, Diana, she dropped 29.75. Cloud, she went out here, she dropped 39.75. So the upside is definitely there for her to go out here and have a good game. It is. So if I'm not going up with Lloyd, I definitely see myself getting out here to SDS. Either one of those guys will be good. NECA, she missed the last game. She was inactive due to her eye. As far as I understand, her eye should be good. So I would imagine that NECA will actually be back for this game. Either way, I kind of want to go with whoever's going to be playing the center spot. Either or, we just seen Big T light this up and have a really good game. I will say, Ezzy, between when it comes down to it, this is going to be another one of those spots where you have to plant a flag, figure out which one you actually want to go with. Opposing power force, they've done decent going up in this spot against them. But whoever Stokes is guarding, they've actually had great games. Stokes is there, but she's slow. She doesn't bring too much. She's not going to get too much offensive attention, anything out there for her. She honestly, to me, is just there. She's flat out. She's just there. And the upside for Ezzy, who has the block upside, who has the steal upside, can actually splash it from 3. And in last season, she had pretty good games going up against them. She dropped 43 fantasy points in one of the games that they actually played in Las Vegas last season versus them in 34 minutes. And we know that she's going to go out there. She's going to play a shit ton of minutes. But NECA, I was on her for the last slate, was on her for the last game, really thought she was going to hit a pop, but she ended up sitting and missing. Either way, you definitely can come down, save 300, go to her, but I do feel like Ezzy will probably be the better play when it comes down to it, and possibly come in at a little bit of lower ownership, just due to the price tag that she's actually touting. Everyone else over here, Sammy, Horston, Vivian, Holmes, Turner, Mula, none of them really tickle the whistle, and I'm not really going to look to get to any of those right there. I'll say if you want to take a GPP chance on Horston, who I thought would have played more than 14 minutes in the last game, got 17 fantasy points. That's a possibility that you can definitely mess with and go to. But with NECA being back, I'm not going to mess too much with the bench. Sammy, we know that they like her, what she brings, shooting, so on and so forth. But if the shot's not falling, Sammy's not doing it for you. And I don't see a need to really mess with that right there. Going over to the Las Vegas Aces side. Again, like I said, the true decision is going to be, am I playing MVP Asia Wilson or am I playing Fee? I'll say Asia, the usage, sky fucking high. The production, sky fucking high. In the last 5 games, she's had 2 games where she's dropped over 60 fantasy points, damn near close to 70. Beautiful production coming from her, really great spot, and they're going to need her in order for this game to actually stay close. I'll say opposing forwards going up against her, against the Storm, which is really weird, but looking at it, opposing power forwards have actually had their way and done very well, whether NECA has been out there or if it's Ezzy. Nalissa Smith was able to go out here and drop 46 fantasy points in this spot and 38.25 fantasy points. Brianna Stewart, she dropped 41.75 fantasy points. Fee, she dropped 61. So the upside is definitely there for Asia to go out here and just completely obliterate, crush, destroy the slate. We know she's going to play as many minutes as she can handle. She's going to get a couple of breaks right there, but at least I say about 32, 35 minutes is going to be there for her. Price tag, it's not going to scare me. It's just a matter of, can I build a balanced lineup around her is all it comes down to me for if I want to fit her. Now, if I can't fit up to Asia, I will say opposing guards, especially ones that handle the rock, who can pass, who can shoot themselves and have a decent usage as well, and who can bring on the defensive side, have done well. And I'm talking about none other than Jackie Young. Jackie here in this spot, she's the de facto point guard without Gray being out there. 35 minutes in the last game, and this was her Jordan flu game. 35 minutes. She went out there. She dropped 37.5 fantasy points. It was low owned because once we got the news that she wasn't feeling good, missed shoot around, nobody played her. I didn't play her either. I went with Plum and got burned by Plum. But 10-4, I will go ahead. I'll play Jackie Young if I cannot get up to Asia Wilson. But right now, I got to figure it out, see if I can still build a balanced lineup that I actually truly do like. Jackie definitely can just come down to her. Plum, she's going to be the odd man out. Definitely a GPP option. Now, I'll say this. If I can't get up to Jackie, if I really don't want to mess with Plum, if I don't want to play Asia, unfortunately, I'm going to have to consider Tiffany Hayes. She came in here. She was priced up like 7K. Yep, 7K, played 21 minutes. And this right here looks like the Kennedy Carter for the Aces. She's fast. She's still nimble. She is technically a trip away. And when I say trip, I literally mean stub her toe, trip on the court away from being injured and just completely not playing. That's Tiffany Hayes. She gets injured. She's going to get injured eventually, especially coming in here playing some type of minutes in here for the Aces. It's inevitable for her. But 11 points, a steal, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. She was crashing the glass. She was dishing the rock. She was going out there. She was slashing to the rim. She was scoring. She looked good. She didn't look like she was just sitting there retired at home. She didn't. So if I cannot get up to any of those other guards, if I can't get to Wilson, I'll take a Tiffany Hayes who should be probably about 10%-ish owned. I definitely can see myself messing with that. I really do like the upside that could possibly be brought by going down here to Tiffany Hayes. Everyone else over here, I'll say that Martin, even though it was her birthday, they got to go only 14 minutes, really didn't do too much. In a game that I expect to be pretty close and some juice to be brought in this game, I'm not going to mess with Martin, not here on this one. But outside of that, Stokes not going there, Gustafson not going there, Clark, not going there. I definitely will come down here to Hayes before I go up and play Clark. But again, we do have to get the news of if Chelsea Gray is going to be back. Let's see. She has yet to play the season, hasn't given time to return. Her next game's on Friday. And we haven't even got worried if Chelsea Gray's even practiced. If she hasn't, if Chelsea Gray hasn't even practiced yet, she's not playing. So I definitely should just continue with what we already know and what we've already thought process and everything right there. All right. Let's check this out. See some comments. D caught a little late. Do you like Edwards today, or is Austin supposed to be back? Austin is supposed to be back. We have not gotten the official word that Austin will be back. If Austin is out, then yes, I do like going back to Aaliyah Edwards again today. It's a good matchup. Once again, opposing power forwards that have gone up against Melissa Smith defense, they're averaging right around 25 fantasy points a game. And what she just did last night, what she brings on the block upside, of course, the rebound and the scoring, all that's there. She has a very high usage when she's out there on the court with all those other players. I really do actually like the upside for her here if Austin is out. If Austin's in, it's it's truly right there for me. But yeah, that's going to be a breakdown right there for you guys. If you guys got any other DFS questions, go ahead, drop them, talk to me down in the chat in regards to it. But with that being said, I am going to switch over and we'll look at the price fix board. I'll go right here. Like I said, when I was talking, I already smacked it. I'm going to lock in Courtney Williams. She will be a play of the day for me. Well, not play of the day. She will be a top priority play for me today. That 13.5, I personally think that is too low. I even have it written here in my notes. If Courtney Williams' first half is under 15 and below, I'm taking the over on that. And to just give you an idea, this first time that they matched up going up against this exact same team, Courtney Williams went out there and she dropped 22.1 fantasy points in the first half. I'm going right back to it. Her usage is higher in the first half. Her minutes she's at least going to play right around 12 to, I'll give her 14 minutes in the first half of the game. She's at least going to see that. The second half, that's where she drastically drops off. And we just probably won't get the production. So this is one of those plays where you can take the first half for the over for a fantasy points, PRA, things like that. Points, a little sketchy, depending on what they put the points at. But then the second half, that would be one where you could take the under on her PRA and on her fantasy points, especially depending on how the game is shaking out, things like that. That'd be something that I would actually consider. But Scrolling through real quick, we'll go over here. Nalissa, she got the bump up from the 14. She was sitting at 14, but I will say in the 3 games since she's been back in the starting lineup, she's averaging right around that 17 fantasy, that 17 points. I would take the over on her here at that 14 and a half. That half mark. I just, the matchup is still good for her here in this spot. I do like the upside, and she is definitely, as long as she doesn't get in foul trouble, she'll see at least 30 minutes. They have no bigs. They truly have no bigs. Same thing for Boston. It'll be one of those where I can take a Alyssa Smith in one lineup, and then I could take Aaliyah Boston inside of another. That would be one that I would actually consider going back and forth like that. Let's see. Oh, wait, we got another DFS question. Switching back over real quick. 4K and under best optimal. If you're looking at a 4K and under play, there's only a couple of them actually on today's slate. Scroll down just a little more for you to actually take. Melbourne would be one that I would consider just because they are on the back end of a back-to-back. We could actually get to see more Melbourne minutes today, given whoo boy, easy. You just asked one of the most craziest questions ever. Melbourne would be one I would actually consider as a value play that you can go to. You definitely can come down here. Sneakily, Burrell, I didn't talk about her, but she did play 22 minutes. Granted, the game was a blowout, but this would be a very deep GPP. You can mess with that. But the safest one so far right now to me, I will say Olivia at 3.5 would probably, if I rank them, I'll say Olivia, Melbourne, and then anyone else would be just down here in regards to the value. It is truly a crapshoot. Easy. Can you fade Aja and Fee today with the value being damn near non-existent? If you can find another player on today's slate that can get you a guaranteed, because I got Asia and I have Fee locked in for 45 fantasy points today. If you can find me another player that you can build around and you can get into your lines that will average you enough to get to that right there into the cash lines, yes, you can. But I don't think so. I think you will at least need one of those. You will need one of those big names. You should need one of those big names, Fee or Asia, one of those two. And this is where it comes down to it on the slate. And this is why yesterday was kind of just like an eye awakening for me. There's value on the slate, but it's just not the value that we're used to when it comes down to the DFS shit. We're used to trying to find that low 4K, 5K player. We don't necessarily have to do that. I just touched on one that I really do think could possibly, no doubt, be one that no one's going to really click on, no one's going to want to go to. You can play Kelsey Mitchell at 7-1. The value doesn't have to be a 5K player. Kelsey Mitchell's value on today's slate at 7-1. You can come down here and you can play. Sorry, need to switch over. You can come down here inside of this true mid-tier range, play Tiffany Hayes at 6'8". She's going to go out there and get you 15 to 20-ish fantasy points. And if she actually pops, like what we just saw Kennedy Carter do last night, getting close to 30 fantasy points, you're golden. You're in the money. And I got Carter at 2% ownership because no one likes to come into this mid-tier 8 to 7, 6K range and try to find the good player that we could actually have and play. When I drop my quarter day, you'll see I'm going to find that balanced build that makes sense. And the players are right there that should, if they go out there and have close enough to their floor and possibly have a ceiling game, it will make sense and it'll pop. I got you guys. I got you. But I don't think that you have to fade them both. If you fade them both, then that means that you're finding a way to, you're probably playing like Lloyd, you're going up, you're playing Arike, you're playing Jackie Young or something like that. That'll be the only way that it would make sense to me that you even faded Asia, you faded Fee, you're getting the Hamby, the Ezzy just built into your line. Let me see. You plug in Hamby, you plug in Ezzy, leaves you with 6-6. Now I'm stuck trying to find that weird value play that I need to find. If Austin's out, then yeah, I can go back over here in this game, go to Aaliyah Edwards right here, go to the guard position on the slate, go over to the not the Sparks, but no, go to the Aces. I can come in here and play Tiffany Hayes at 6'8". Now I got 6'5" to fill in for a last spot. That's something like that. But that's what I'm saying. That lineup may look ugly, but it's that ugly lineup that you think is like, damn, this don't look right, is what's going to actually cash and do you right. It truly is. It really, truly is. You guys got any props that you guys actually like on today's slate? Shifting gears, going back over to look at props for today. Like I said, Leah Boston, I do like her upside, like her here in the spot. Skylar, that's not bad. Ezzy, no, I'm not going to go there. If you think Brink can repeat what she did, I would take her in a 6 pick, would use her in a protected pick. I kind of find it funny that they got Hamby down to 18. She does have some interest for me at that 18. That definitely does look good. Fee, I actually do like her for the 22.5. I would take the over. I got her for about 24, 25 points on today. Everyone else right here, there are some maybes. I would say over here for PRA, if I got to take, where is she at? They're not going to give us Rakia Jackson today. But PRA, I take Melissa Smith. I'll take Aaliyah Boston's PRA. I'll take both of those for a over. Caitlin Clark, I'm not going to take that actually, but I'll take Caitlin Clark's assist. I do love the wings. That was another value play right there. Maddie at 7.5. Maddie at 7.5. Billings right there at 8.8, 8.6. Those are what I consider some decent value plays. Yes, I do believe the wings are sneaky. I got the wings money line as one of my bets for today that I'm taking. Skylar, her assist, that actually looks really decent. Ooh, they gave us Uzan's assist. I'll tell you, I'm going to have to look a little bit deeper on that one right there, but I will mess with either Enrique or Uzan. One of those two's assist. One of those two could actually pop that assist number right there. I actually like both of those. That looks really good. I wish that Van Loo was at 5. I would take the over on that. Enrique, Maddie Billings, I think can pop. Exactly. The Dallas Wings, bro. That game right there, I think that game right there being probably be one of the lower owned games because you're going to look to try to find what pieces you can get going up against the Phoenix Mercury. People are going to try to get some pieces from that Aces and from the Storm game. And then, yeah, that middle game right there probably just have nothing from it. 3 points made. I am not touching Atkins with a 10-foot pole. Van Loo, hell no. Kia Nurse, she got to play the minutes to actually be able to do that. Not even going to go there. Points and rebounds. Melissa Smith, I take the over on that, 22.5. That's too low for her. Mo Billings, Mo Money. I take the between Billings and Tierra, one of those two. Their points and rebounds. We'll take the over on that right there for them. Nothing else sticks out right there on that one. Rike, she's averaging practically 25 points a game. You tell me she can't go out here and get me the 5 assists? I'll take the over on that one right there for Reek. Clark gonna pop tonight, y'all. Clark gonna pop, bro. Clark, 25.5 points assists. I'll take the over for that one right there as well. Rebounding wise, Melissa 8.5. Damn. Boston 7 though. I'll take that. Wish that was 11 or 10.5. I would take it, but I'm not gonna touch it. No. Big T. It's the tale of two tales again, but I'll take Big T for the rebounds. Fee, that's right around what she's averaging, and also very push for her. There's no value in this line right here for Fee at all. Like that's a stupid line. It's a really stupid line. Why would you give us her what she's averaging? That's just dumb. Billings. Yep. All right. That's about it for me on price picks, things like that. So I will have a definite I'll have a definite prop list for today. I will add that to my content that I put up. I got to go ahead and get off of this because I need to go ahead and do my MLB research before lines moves way too much. Definitely will have that loaded up onto the site momentarily. If you guys got any other questions, go ahead and drop that for me real quick while I go ahead and pull up my stuff to start looking at MLB. I will stay on stream just for a little bit longer while if you guys have any questions, you guys can go ahead and drop it. But other than that, I am done with WNBA stuff unless anyone else has any questions. Everything else you guys can check. I will have it up on site for you guys in a bit. I'm going to go ahead and hammer away, get everything worked out right now for you guys. Nope. Pirates money line. No, not liking the pitching matchup there. See Baltimore You guys want a free play? I'll give you Baltimore Orioles money line pitching matchup. Cole Orvin, pretty nice going up against Tampa Bay Rays. Rays actually do strike out pretty well. Baltimore, are they coming off any rest? Oh, third game. Let's see. Definitely gonna fuck with Baltimore. Ooh, we got the Yankees going up against the Dodgers. That should actually be pretty decent. All right, guys, if you guys got nothing else for me, I am going to peace out. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys haven't done so. Hopefully you guys cash out.